Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Great to have you here today on our Total Wellness Tuesday episode of the week on the Cabral Concept podcast. Whether you're watching this on video or listening on audio, I appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for downloading the show and subscribing. It is great to be able to teach on a daily basis. It is my favorite thing to do, all things wellness, body transformation, anti-aging, etc. So what I want to share with you here today, though, is the top 10 anti-inflammatory foods. I've shared them in different ways in the past, but honestly, these are things that we shouldn't eat every once in a while. We should be eating them every single day. And essentially, we should be eating all 10 of these things and with maybe one or two different tweaks on a daily basis. So how can we make these foods part of our daily diet? And the thing is, I've talked about before a Mediterranean diet, a Nordic-based diet. I've talked about all these different diets, longevity diets, blue zone diets, and they all incorporate some of these foods, if not most of these foods. But the thing is, a lot of people get worried about the name of the diet that they're following. And so to me, honestly, whether you want to say you are keto or like the new carnivore 3.0 diet, or you're low carb, or you're high carb, or you're vegan, or you're predominantly plant-based, or you are Mediterranean diet, like paleo, primal, whatever you want to be, I just need to make sure that you're incorporating as many of these foods into your diet as possible. Because at the end of the day, if we are willing to get rid of our dogma and not care about the name of the diet, but simply say, what is it that we are looking to do? If we can go back to what it is for the goal, the outcome of what we're trying to produce, then we can say, to me, it doesn't matter about being a part of one cult or one camp. It's like, okay, we're doing these things to live longer. We're doing these things to feel better. We're doing these things to have more energy, more vitality, and to be able to do the things that we want to do then with the rest of our life. Because the nutrition is meant to fuel our bodies. It's not meant to be everything of who we are and what we do, right? So we eat maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day, but that food then just allows us then to do what it is that we want with our life, hopefully with the health in both mind and body and spirit that we want. So let's get into it, because these foods are the foods that we know balance inflammation, give life, and to our knowledge, these are the foods that live to the longest, healthiest lives. Because when you look at centenarians' diets, as people living 100 or more with the least amount of disease, the best health, these are the foods they eat. All right, so let's get into it. The first one is berries, specifically wild blueberries and cherries. Now, strawberries are great, blackberries are great. I'm not saying they're not, but when you eat berries, you're getting high antioxidant-based foods. What's very unique, though, about wild blueberries is that a wild blueberry is not the big plump ones, right? Not the big plump juicy ones, the very small ones that are predominantly skin. And I've said this before, but I think it bears repeating, that the berry with the thickest skin is going to provide the highest antioxidants, or the berry with the most amount of skin per berry, like if it's small on the inside, right? Less of the juice, it's going to get you more of those antioxidants. Now, wild blueberries are also growing wild in nature. They have far more sunlight, oftentimes less water. They have to produce more antioxidants in order to survive. Then we, as humans, get to eat those antioxidants like the anthocyanins in blueberries, the phytonutrients, right, that we get from nature that allow us then to squelch free radical damage, to balance healthy levels of inflammation and much more. Plus, if you go back to my previous podcasts on how carbohydrates do not cause diabetes, contrary to popular belief. Now, they can certainly exacerbate it when your body's already unhealthy, but that's a different story for another day. You'll see that actually blueberries lower your body's blood sugar when eaten with a meal or smoothie or whatever it might be. And again, this is all PubMed, scientifically validated, NIH, et cetera, based studies. These are not my studies. These are studies that, again, I have no dogma. I have, as I like to say, no dog in the race. I don't care what the best diet is by any way, shape, or form. All I want to do is help me, help my family, help those in our practice, and the entire world to live a healthier, happier life for as long as humanly possible. Because again, I always say this, but if you can live to 100 or 120, but actually enjoy those years and be active and get to see your, grandkids and maybe even their kids, you have to understand is like, that is the goal for a lot of people, right? The goal for a lot of people is to be able to enjoy their life. And what I want to do is just make sure you stay healthy so that you're not medicated. The average older adults on 4 different medications. That's just the average. Many people are on many more. Well, again, we need to look towards the food we eat first as to getting off of many of those medications. So cherries is another one I named. I wanted to name cherries because of the nitric oxide, the NO2 that we're getting from cherries. We are able to not only help reduce levels of uric acid and gout, etc., but those tart cherries can actually provide a lot of the precursors for NO2, which is going to help with circulation and energy in the body. All right, so the first one is berries. The second one is fatty fish. Now, many people are vegan or plant-based and they're not eating any fish, okay? Understand, you can bypass this one. But what I will say is this. People do seem to be even healthier if they get a little bit of fish in their diet. I just want to add that. Like, even if you're not eating meat or eggs or dairy, I understand. And again, obviously, you're not going to eat fish if you are believing in the reason for being a vegan for more of the spiritual, animal, and sanctity-based reasons. And I totally understand that. I respect that. I respect that completely. But if you're doing it for overall health reasons, and only for health reasons, you may actually want to check out the research on, and I provide a lot of this at stephencabral.com/podcast, on omega-3s and reducing the omega-6s in your diet. Fatty fish, and so I want to link up today. Here's the thing. There's going to be a good amount of research and previous shows. If you want to listen to them, you're welcome to. They're going to be at stephencabral.com/2454. stephencabral.com/2454 if you want to head over there. The big 3 takeaways of the day. I'm going to link up a show on high omega-3 fish. Then I'm going to link up another one on the highest to lowest mercury fish, because you don't want to eat fish that are higher in heavy metals like mercury. So that's important. Okay, but there are some fatty fish like sardines and anchovies and mackerel and wild salmon that are going to provide you with a high level of anti-inflammatory omega-3s, given that they are wild caught and not farm raised. Really important as well. So that is going to help balance the high levels of omega-6s. Now, again, even if you are plant-based, keep in mind you could be eating high levels of omega-6s in your diet. You need something to balance that out. Now, the easiest way to do that is with fatty fish. You can get it from other sources. They're just not easily absorbed in the body. Chia seeds, flax seeds, okay, absorption. About 6 to 14% or so is the absorption from ALA down to EPA and DHA. So just kind of keeping that in mind. It's not like you can't, but many of the omega-3 sources for a completely plant-based diet as well also have omega-6s, because they often have omegas 3, 6, and 9s. Again, nothing wrong with that, but what I'm sharing with you is that if you are willing to eat some fish, animal-based proteins, a fatty fish would top that list for sure. All right, number 3 is going to be cruciferous vegetables, and I would say ideally, if you're looking at all your cruciferous vegetables out there, and you say, well, I don't really like cruciferous vegetables, but I'm willing to eat some if it really is that powerful and healthy for my body. All right, if I could only choose one, and oftentimes I do, it's broccoli. Now, over the years, I have literally just taught myself to eat broccoli, kind of take my mind out of it, and honestly, over the years, then I've really come to enjoy it. And so you can crisp it up in the oven. You can cook it however you want to cook it, but it should be cooked. That's a better way to absorb the nutrients from any cruciferous vegetable. It makes it far healthier for the body. And you are then going to be able to enjoy what is called the sulforaphane. So again, you get all the antioxidants and basically a net zero calorie, high fiber-based vegetable. And you get the sulforaphane, which helps with detoxification. And it's very low on the inflammatory index, meaning it's actually anti-inflammatory. Obviously, I'm sharing with you anti-inflammatory foods here today. All right, so that's a big one. Of course, you could eat, what else? Cruciferous vegetables. There would be Brussels sprouts and cauliflower, and there's the broccoli, there's the bok choy, there's kale. So you can just look up cruciferous vegetables, and you can get all the benefits from those. Try to get in a couple of cups per day. If you're dealing with something like PCOS, or you're dealing with estrogen dominance, or you're dealing with higher testosterone to estrogen conversion, you're dealing with any type of toxicity, I do recommend 3 or more cups per day. And that could be as easy as 1.5 at lunch, 1.5 at dinner, if you want to do that in addition to other veggies. Okay. All right. Number 4 is olives and cold pressed single source organic olive oil. So in a dark bottle, I always like to give you all the different caveats for olive oil. All right, it has to be single source. It has to be organic. It has to be first pressed. And it has to be in a dark bottle. That prevents it from the oxidization, the mixing of different olives from like all over, and just getting really good, pure quality olive oil. And it's actually really important because olive oil is, and I'll link up another podcast here today, it's truly, and I would say the best oil out of all that you could be using, like in your diet. There's just no doubt about it. There's the research on it, even for cooking, is phenomenal. I was shocked that it actually performed better than saturated fats. And again, I'll share with you the independent research on that. That's at stevencabral.com/2454. We'll link up that podcast. And again, if you ever can't find a podcast, just ask at cabralsupportgroup.com. We have a dedicated team that's happy to answer your questions right there. So just let us know. All right, so it has oleic acid. It's actually been shown to help fight against cancer cells. It's super anti-inflammatory, amazing product used by many blue zone-based cultures. All right, the 5th one, though, because I wanted to add one more. Well, what if you could have another fat? Avocado. So there's a lot of people on a maybe lower carb, and they're getting more of their calories from fat. Olives, olive oil, avocados, and even if you wanted to use some avocado oil, same principles, right? Organic, first pressed, cold pressed, and single source. It's going to be easier to get single source for avocado. Monounsaturated fat, right? Just like olive oil, and loaded with antioxidants. So super powerful, anti-inflammatory. Avocado is a strange one. You can qualify it as a fruit if you want, but really it's a healthy fat, and that's how we're looking at it. Okay, let's stick with the fats-based concept here. The other one is nuts. So walnuts, almonds, macadamia, those are great ones to add to your diet. How much? Just a couple tablespoons a day. That's literally it. So you could throw, and I'm actually drinking a smoothie here if you're watching this on video. This is a beautiful strawberry, mango, banana, and vanilla DNS shake right here. Take a little sip. So you could throw in, though, 1 or 2 tablespoons of, well, even if you want to, flax seeds or something like that, you're welcome to. But almonds, macadamia nuts, walnuts, you can mix those into your shake if you want, or just crush them up and put them on a salad if you'd like to. And you're going to get some healthy fats in there. Those are super powerful in terms of anti-inflammatories. You're going to get some magnesium from them, which is great. Walnuts are going to be high in omega-3s. So it's a really nice one, and a really nice thing to add to your diet too. Some people, like myself, I don't do a lot of nuts. I'll do a little bit, but I don't do a lot. I'll do a little bit like chia seeds and macadamia nuts and items like that, but I don't do a lot, and that's okay. Again, I'm sharing you 10 big ones today that you can use in your own way. None of them are necessarily higher than others on the hierarchy. Like you can have any of these. You can customize your diet. But again, I wanted to share that with you because it is part of the unbiased research. Number 7 is tomatoes. So tomatoes, again, is not one that I eat every day, but I actually do eat tomatoes about once a week, maybe twice. And I prefer heirloom tomatoes. So, excuse me, heirloom tomatoes can be considered wild, or you can actually grow organic heirloom tomatoes. Those are the ones that are typically yellow and red, or they're purple and red. They're not your usual red ones that look so beautiful and shiny at your local grocery food store. You want the ones that have, they've lived a tough life out there in the garden. Just like the berries, right? The wild blueberries are not all the same size. They're all different shapes and sizes. Some of them are a little rough. And then the tomatoes, when you see a good heirloom tomato, it's warped, it's misshapen. I mean, those are some of the best ones, right? So you really want to look for good heirloom tomatoes. They contain something called lycopene. So again, these things are, all of these ones that I'm talking about here today, very powerful anti-inflammatory foods. But the lycopene is an interesting antioxidant as well that helps with, again, potentially it may help with cancer-based prevention, prostate-based issues, etc. So really nice one. It is, and I'll be naming one on number 9, that is a nightshade. So if you are someone that has kind of a genetic basis to reacting to nightshades, you just want to go easy on them. And I am one of those people for sure. With my past histamine issues and past allergy issues, I just go easy on them. That's all. I just go very, very easy on those and potatoes and, why don't I just move these around a little bit, and peppers. So what was number 9 is now number 8, and those are peppers. So I love peppers. I like spicy food. I love hot sauces. I'm always trying different hot sauces. My brothers and my brother-in-laws, it's funny because when we get together, we're always sharing, excuse me, we're always sharing like the new hot sauces that we're trying. And sometimes we'll have like 4 or 5 or 6 out at a time and use them as different dipping sauces. So I love spices, cayenne pepper, habanero peppers. I've had ghost peppers, all sorts of different ones. And it's quite enjoyable. But like, let's say you don't want spicy peppers. Now you could use bell peppers, right? So I think I talked about this just last week on really powerful anti-inflammatory, allergy-reducing foods. And many of these were on that list as well. And again, these are just like good quality foods we need to be adding to our diet, regardless of what the gurus out there say that are based on short-term fixes and not long-term results. So bell peppers, and that's the difference too. Again, like when you're online and you're not working in a practice where people see you week in and week out, and if they don't get the results they're looking for, well, you need to help them, right? So like when you're focused on the long-term results and you know what the efficacy is of what you are preaching and doing because you've done it for so long, then you don't need it, nor do you want any of the short-term fads, because people are just going to come back and be like, hey, it stopped working. And yeah, of course it did. It wasn't meant to work forever, right? So anyway, I just wanted to share that. A little aside. So red and yellow and orange are the best. I pretty much tell people to stay away from the green ones that are just much higher in lectins and not as ripe. And that's that. Now, if you love green peppers, then, well, enjoy your green peppers. Who am I to say? All right. The number 9 is now green leafy vegetables. Again, we're talking about really low calorie things, right? Like peppers, green leafy vegetables, tomatoes, cruciferous vegetables, very, very low in calories, even the berries that we're talking about. So even if you're on a low carb diet, you can certainly add these in. So green leafy vegetables, if we're talking about things like Swiss chard or even kale, you do want to cook them. You're going to get more benefit from the tougher greens by cooking them. So cruciferous vegetable is literally like the cellulose structure inside of the actual plant itself. Those should always be cooked. Better for your thyroid, better for your overall body anyways. But green leafy vegetables, some of them can then be eaten raw and are great to eat raw because then you get the natural enzymes. So like a Bibb lettuce, a romaine lettuce, what else? Spinach lettuce, all of those are totally fine. And then like a mixed spring mix is totally fine as well. Those should be organic, and then just make sure you're giving those a good wash as well. Now, the last one is one of those fun ones that you may decide to have after dinner. You may decide to have after a meal. You may decide to have after a workout, like I do sometimes my superfood chocolate bars, and it is dark chocolate. Dark chocolate is one of those foods that can go either way, meaning like if you get low quality chocolate and it's mixed on the back, you see the ingredients and it's chocolate liqueur, it's this type of syrup, it's added sugars, it's all these different types of things, then it's not going to be as healthy for you and actually be a little bit more inflammatory then. But it's anti-inflammatory if you're looking for a 70 plus, minimum 70 plus dark chocolate, and the ingredients are pure. Very few ingredients, all from nature. And that is something that is actually quite anti-inflammatory, quite powerful. Now, I actually don't like people to have dark chocolate after dinner. And that's because there's actually a little caffeine in dark chocolate. Believe it or not, there really is. And it can mess with some people's sleep. And I just prefer people to say like, hey, if you need a little something mid-afternoon or a little something after lunch, have it then. Much, much better than even after a workout, because you'll be able to use that. So that is today's list. Those are the top 10 anti-inflammatory foods. I wanted to share that with you. I think most people can start to add these into your diet. So I really want you thinking like, okay, how can I add a cup of berries every day? How can I maybe get some fatty fish in 2, 3, 4 times a week? What about cruciferous vegetables? How about some olive oil? That's an easy one, right? How can I add that to a dish every day? What about slicing up a half an avocado or a whole avocado? And can I add 1 or 2 tablespoons of nuts a day? What about tomatoes? How often could I eat those? Can I have a salad, a side salad with one of my meals? Peppers. Can I dice some bell peppers up on any of my dishes or add a little bit of spice in there? And then dark chocolate, if you want to enjoy that, you're welcome to, whether it's Superfood chocolate bar or whether it's your favorite dark chocolate by some of the companies that I love and have talked about before, you can do that as well. So hopefully today's show was helpful. That is it for today. Of course, I'll be back tomorrow bringing you another Cabral concept. Take care, everybody. Are you ready to heal yourself and then go on to heal others? If so, the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute can help you discover proven functional medicine protocols that blend the best of 7 different healing disciplines from around the world. I personally share with you the exact handouts and protocols I use in my private practice that enable people to get well, lose the weight, and live longer, stronger. I want to pass this information on to the next generation of health coaches, and that is exactly why I created IHP. We are the future of the health coaching industry, and the skills and knowledge you will learn will make you an in-demand certified health coach anywhere in the world. Although we have many medical professionals taking the IHP certifications, no experience is necessary, and half our members have no previous health certifications. At the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute, our motto is a health coach in every home. Our goal is that you take this knowledge and then share it with family, friends, loved ones, your community, or in a practice where you create a career you love and can be proud of. The global IHP community is filled with some of the most kind and caring people in the world, and we can't wait to welcome you into our world soon. For more information or to set up a discovery call with one of our IHP Health Coach graduates, simply head over to integrativehealthpractitioner.org.